I used to sit in my room guilt tripping myself for not being productive. I would tell myself to get my life together and start working towards a goal, but my mind wouldn't want that, and it knew what to do. It would trick me into this false sense of productivity by urging me to binge watch all these self-improvement videos with a bunch of information that I just didn't need, bro. Eventually, it just became too much to bear, and I'd burn out before I even started. It was crazy. It's the bread and butter of analysis paralysis or even perfectionism. You find something you're passionate about, but you become so attached to the outcome that you convince yourself you need to do it perfectly or all your hard work would be for nothing. But you don't realize that experience will beat study 9 times out of 10. Ever since the internet, there's been a plethora of information available online, right? Anything you could possibly want to learn is out there somewhere. Sounds like a great thing, doesn't it? But it's actually pretty counterproductive to our journeys. I used to always think if I just studied something well enough, I could shave months off my progress and, even progress 2 or 3 times quicker than the average person and basically speed run my process. The irony was, all of this studying actually only ever ended up holding me back, to be honest with you. Instead of doing something, I would overanalyze every single detail to make sure that I'm min-maxing every part of the process and being as efficient as possible. And then when the time came to actually do the thing I was learning about, I would just get so overwhelmed trying to remember every little detail and usually end up getting stressed or even pissed off because I couldn't perform what I deemed a simple task. So now this productive habit, I've now turned it into something that is just making me feel bad, stressing me out, and just making life worse, even though it's supposed to be a healthy habit. I think it stems from my obsession with video games my whole life, because with games, everything is linear, right? There's usually an optimal correct way to do everything. Games like Elden Ring, you can learn the boss patterns and you can react to each one with the same move. Even open world sandbox games like Minecraft, right? You get wood, you craft tools, and then you explore or you build. Even PvP games like fucking League, bro. There's optimal ways to control the wave or fight your opponent. They lay out a path for you so that there's less resistance to progression. That's how they keep you playing. Unfortunately, when you compare that to tasks in real life, video games tend to severely lack consequences and they also don't require physical exertion. So if you die in Elden Ring, you just respawn in a few seconds, right? It's no problem. If you injure yourself when lifting, you've just halted your progress for months and your journey is now on halt. The weight of the real life consequences can create way higher levels of stress in our decision making and it completely prevents us from taking any action at all, bro. Not only that, but because of the physical exertion, we can only get so much experience in one day. We can't run or lift for 5 hours straight. We can't even study for that long, to be honest with you. But learning a game, hey, if you put me in an MMO, brother, I could study that for 10 hours easy. I'm not even kidding, bro. I had to instill a habit deep into my brain that got me moving before I even had time to think about it. Anytime I caught myself overthinking or feeling resistance, I would stop reading and I would just try it right there and then if I could. Whether that be weightlifting, a mindfulness practice, anything at all, I would discard the anxiety that came from the thought of failing and I would just try it. I'm realizing now that everything in life, you know what, I'll give it to the games, they got one thing right. Everything in life truly is just experience. Repetition after repetition, over and over and over, day after day, for the rest of your life. And you literally cannot get that from studying, unfortunately. Now, sure, yeah, studying can give you tips, it can correct mistakes, it can give you insight. Please don't think I'm saying that studying is pointless. That's not what I'm getting at whatsoever. I'm saying actually experiencing it for yourself, only then can you truly understand something. You cannot understand something fully just by studying. And if you don't control this urge to procrastinate with study, because that's basically what it is, right? It's study procrastination. You're not only not going to achieve your goals, but you're also going to become pretty insufferable, to be honest with you. You're going to see this constantly throughout your life, and I'm not trying to be mean here, right? Emotional, out-of-shape men have always been some of my heaviest critics. They'll explain everything to the most pedantic detail, and I think the reason they do it is because they haven't achieved their goals. They cope by overstudying it, right? It gives them, it gives the other people they're speaking to and themselves this impression that they know what they're talking about or a false sense of accomplishment. It's pure ego, bro. I don't care about how much you fucking know about the push-up form. I don't care about how much you bench press 10 years ago, bro. I care about consistency, and you don't have it. So why would I ever want to take advice from someone like that? Do you know what I mean? So a bit of a rant there actually, but anyway, my main point here is ignore all the stupid information regardless of where it's coming from, right? You just have to take action on whatever is dominating that free space in your brain. I don't know if it's content creation, going to the gym, running, meditate, even looks maxing, to be honest with you, because while I haven't gotten into it yet, I'm sure you can apply this to things like fashion as well. Take action first, see the results, then you can analyze it. How can you hope to analyze something without any data? Try a new lift, draw on Photoshop, buy the new coat, whatever it is. I don't know what you want to do, just do it. For example, one thing that held me back from content creation throughout my 20s was I wanted it to be perfect, right? I hated the feeling of completing something, releasing it, and then learning afterwards, like something new and thinking, fuck, man, I should have included that in the video. Like, that's completely backwards. Of course, we're going to learn things in the future that disproves the way that we were doing it before, right? We're always going to be able to improve on our past actions. We're not fucking God, all right? It's just ego to assume that you're never going to learn. It's ego to assume you can ever do anything perfectly. You can never do something perfectly. You just have to do what you can do now. We're going to fail. We're going to do things wrong, right? But I promise you're going to learn way more in that failure than you ever will watching a how-to guide for beginners. You can research the basics and that's it. Check a form video for the exercise on YouTube just to make sure you're doing it right, then go and perform the lift. Watch a video on the basics of Premiere Pro or Photoshop or whatever your software choice is, and then go and start creating. The second you catch yourself falling into the rabbit hole of top 10 things you can do to improve your bent over barbell row, like, you're fucking cooked, bro. You're burning the meat, brother. It's not gonna work. Abort mission. Oh, but Jimbo, study and research is really important and it's foolish not to take advice from others. Yeah, I 100% agree. Don't get me wrong. You absolutely should be researching and learning about your passions and habits every single day. What I want you to take away from this video is to ensure that you're always getting more exposure to the habit than you are spending time learning about it. If you find yourself spending an entire day learning about something without getting any experience in, you're holding yourself back. Make it a rule. Anytime you get exposure, anytime you practice or perform the thing that you want to do, then you can go and research it afterwards. And trust me, you're going to prefer it this way anyway, because by performing the task first, you're going to naturally find these uncomfortable mistakes that you need to address anyway. So you're going to start thinking, oh wait, but how do I do this? And how do I do that when I want to do this? And then when you watch videos on it afterwards, you know what you're looking for. You know what you need explained for you. Learn every day, brother. Learn every day, but don't let it hijack your progress. This has been big old fucking Jimbo once again. And I'll see you in the next one, brother. Peace.